Do you buy any goods? Do you avail any services? Do you hire any services? And do you use it for yourself, or are you trying to go for resale? If you are not reselling any of these, then you are a consumer. Hello and welcome to BSSS Rhythm. Today we are going to learn about Consumer Protection Act 2019 and we will have a small introduction to the same. I am Anita Jomi Thomas, Assistant Professor from Department of Management, and here we begin with Consumer Protection Act. So let's start with the introduction of Consumer Protection Act 2019. This is an act which as per law shall come into force on such a date as notified by the central government on 9th August 2019. And it came into force on 29th of July 2020. It repeals and replaces the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. It extends to the whole of India except the Union Territory of J&K, Jammu and Kashmir. The act is applicable to all goods and services. This is how the official gazette has expressed about the Consumer Protection Act. Now let's quickly go through the objective of the Consumer Protection Act. We do know that the Consumer Protection Act is here to protect the consumers against many unfair means which is used by the unscrupulous sellers. So let's see what are the main objectives. So the objective of the act is to protect the interest of the consumers and to establish a very strong and stable mechanism for settlement of consumer disputes. So here when we talk about consumer disputes, there are several disputes that can happen when any kind of differences between the consumer and the manufacturers or sellers is not solved. There we face dispute. So basically this particular act aims to protect against the marketing of products that are hazardous to life and property. It aims to inform the quality, potency, quantity, standards, purity and price of goods to safeguard the consumers against unfair trade practices. It aims to establish consumer protection councils for protecting the right and interest of the consumer. It assures that goods will be made available to the consumers at competitive prices. That means no unfair prices would be charged from the consumers. It aims to bring in or seek redressal against unfair trade practices or unscrupulous exploitation of consumers. So here we aim to protect the consumers against unfair trade practices. It also helps to protect the consumers by appointing authorities for timely and sufficient administration and settlement of consumers' dispute. It lays down the penalties for offences committed under the Act, like for example the liability of the product which basically falls on the manufacturer, seller, etc., and what penalties they would have to pay when it comes to exploitation of consumers. It helps to hear and ensure the consumers' welfare will receive due consideration at appropriate forums in any case if there is any problem or any kind of dispute that arises. It helps to provide consumer education so that consumers are aware about their rights. It also helps in speedy and effective disposal of consumer complaints through alternate dispute resolution mechanisms. So when we talk about the dispute resolution mechanism, we have three dispute resolution mechanism or three-tier dispute redressal forums. So we have the District Commission, State Commission and National Commission, which we will be looking into within few minutes. Now let's go through what is the consumer rights. Now there is a change in this particular act when it comes to 2019 because the section has got changed. Here the section is section 2(9) of Consumer Protection Act 2019, it has given the explanation to the consumer rights. The rights remains the same, but only the section has changed. So here the first right is that the right to be protected against the goods. Okay, so this is right to be protected against the marketing of goods, products or services which are hazardous to life and property of the consumer. So basically when we talk about here, we talk about safety of an individual's life and their property. Say for example, when we buy any electrical vehicles, okay, there is a chances that the chargers would explode and all. So, you know, it makes like, you know, somewhere or the other, the seller and the manufacturer has to be quite cautious in selling such kind of products. The second right says that the right to be informed about quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of goods, products or services, whatever the case may be, so as to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. The right to be assured, the third right, the right to be assured, that is, you will have an access to variety of goods, products or services at competitive prices. The right, that is fourth, it says that every consumer has the right to be heard, the consumer's issues to be heard. So, here we would like to say that the consumer is assured that their interests will receive due consideration at appropriate forums. The fifth right says that the right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices or restrictive trade practices or unscrupulous exploitation of consumers by sellers and manufacturers. The fifth right of the consumer is the right to be aware. So, it is the right to be educated against what activities basically happen. Now, we currently move on to the third area, that is dispute redressal machinery or mechanism under the Consumer Act. So, the first dispute redressal mechanism or machinery is the District Commission, which is established under section 28. Here, the state government establishes this particular commission, and every district commission has a president who is qualified or has been qualified as a district judge, and not less than 2 or more number of members as prescribed by the central government. Now, remember, such kind of act is always established through notification in the official gazette. Also, section 34 of the act authorizes the district commission to entertain complaints where the value of goods or services paid as consideration does not exceed 1 CR. So, here the jurisdiction is to the extent of 1 crore, and if any party who is aggrieved by the order given by the district commission can make an appeal against such order to the state commission within a period of 45 days. The second mechanism is our state commission, which is established under section 42. Again, it is established by the state government through the notification in the official gazette. Here, the state commission consists of a president and not less than 4 members. So, here it is 4 members, and such number of members as would be prescribed by the central government. The state commission has a jurisdiction to entertain the complaints where the value of goods and services paid as consideration would exceed 1 CR, and it ranges up to 10 CR. And if any party who is aggrieved by the order made by the state commission, then they can make an appeal to the national commission within a period of 30 days. The next and the third is the National Commission, which is established under Section 53. The National Commission is established by the central government through the notification in the official gazette, and the National Commission consists of members like a president and not less than 4 members or any such number of members as prescribed by the central government themselves. The National Commission has the jurisdiction to entertain complaints where the value of goods and services paid as consideration exceeds rupees 10 crore. Any person who has been aggrieved by the order made by the National Commission can make an appeal to the Supreme Court within a period of 30 days. So when we talk about this is given under Section 67. So any order you have to make, you can contact the Supreme Court if not satisfied with the order provided or given by the National Commission. So that was all for today. A gist of Consumer Protection Act. In the coming lectures, we would be looking into the definitions of Consumer Protection Act. Thank you.